Hey there, y'all. My name is Nathan. I'm a guide with Endless River Adventures, and today we're going to be talking about layering for paddling in cold weather. Now, the reason that layering is important is because that having those multiple layers is going to allow you to layer up or down throughout the day, make sure that you stay at a comfortable temperature, and just generally make sure you're comfier and having a better time throughout the day. Now, the layering system that we recommend, it consists mainly of three layers. Is going to be a base layer, a mid layer, and a shell or outer layer. So let's start with our base layer. Now, the base layer is going to be worn closest to the skin, and we generally want this layer to be close fitting and a little bit on the thinner side. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, we want it to be close fitting and thinner so that we can layer over it without making our layering system too bulky or encumbering our movement. And then second of all, we want that to be thin so that if we are starting to heat up, we can strip off those other layers down to that base layer, and that'll allow us to cool off. Now, there's a few different fabrics that we like to recommend for that base layer. Generally, we're going to use either synthetic fabrics or wool fabrics for that base layer. So you've got a synthetic shirt and a wool shirt, or a wool shirt and a synthetic or a wool set of leggings for that bottom half. Now, those fabrics are great for a few reasons. First of all, they are moisture wicking, which means that they'll actually help to pull any moisture trapped between that layer and your skin off of your skin through the fabric and towards the exterior of the fabric where it can then evaporate away. The other reasons are that these fabrics tend to be a little bit faster drying, and they actually retain their insulating properties when wet. So even if they are wet, they will keep you warm. So next, let's talk about our mid layer. That's going to be the layer that's worn over the base layer and underneath the outer layer or the shell. And this layer is going to be our most insulating layer. So this is going to be the thickest and the warmest layer out of the bunch. And on particularly cold days, particularly nasty conditions, you can actually double up on this mid layer to give yourself some little extra warmth there. Now let's talk about the fabrics that we're looking for that mid layer. Well, we've still got our synthetics, we've still got our wool fabrics are going to be great for that. The only difference with this layer is that you want to be looking for something that's going to be a little bit looser fitting, and you want to look for something with a little bit more volume to it, some thickness to really give you that insulating property, that warmth that you're getting in that mid layer. Then we're going to add another fabric to our list for the mid layer. Is going to be fleece. Fleece is great. It retains the same properties as the other two fabrics we've talked about. It dries quickly. It retains its insulating properties even when it gets wet, but it's generally like real thick and warm and just generally it's going to keep you real toasty. So fleece is going to be added to that list for the mid layer as well. And finally, we've got our outer layer or our shell. And the purpose of this layer is going to be a waterproof layer that's going to protect all the other layers in there from elements, rain, water splashing on you, wind. It's going to keep those inner layers nice and toasty dry and keep you comfortable. Now, these layers are going to be a splash jacket, a dry top, a dry suit, or even in a pinch, a rain jacket can work, although it's certainly not going to keep you as dry or comfy as something that's paddling specific. Now, most manufacturers these days that are making paddling equipment are using Gore-Tex or some other form of breathable waterproof fabric. And this is fabric that is designed to shed water, but still allow some airflow out through the suit itself. And these are great because they will help you to avoid getting really sweaty inside of your layering system, which is great, especially when you're doing sports like paddling that involve a lot of exertion. You know, you can heat up and that sweat can get trapped inside that layering system if you don't have some way of allowing that layering system to breathe. So that's why these modern fabrics are really great for that. Like I said, Gore-Tex is one version, but there are many other versions now. So it's worth just taking a look at what kind of fabric is used in the products that you're planning to use as your outer shell and what properties those fabrics have. All right, so we've covered all the layers in our three-layer system, our base layer, our mid layer, and our outer layer or our shell. And something that I've left out of these layering systems is neoprene. This is a material that was designed for use in wet environments, but it doesn't work as well as part of this layering system that we've been talking about. It's a system that's really designed to function on its own. Neoprene is made to be worn close to the skin, so you don't want to have anything under it. And it is designed to be wet um, to work most effectively. So it's definitely something you can consider as a warming system for medium temps, but once it starts to really get on the colder side, or if you're going to be, getting hotter or colder throughout the day, I really recommend that three layering system. Couple other tips or tricks for you. If you are getting ready to go paddling, you've got everything on, and you're real toasty warm in your dry suit or whatever it is that you're wearing, before you get on the river, chances are once you get on the river and you start exerting yourself, you're going to start sweating really quick from that exertion. So if you're getting ready to get on the river, I recommend actually being a little bit on the cooler side before you start paddling so you've got a little bit of room to warm up. If you're wearing a dry suit, most folks know that dry suit needs to be burped before you get on the water. So you want to open up the neck gasket of that dry suit, really compress yourself down, try to get all the excess air out of that dry suit. And the reason for that is that if you do end up swimming in the water, having excess air in the dry suit can make you float in weird ways, and it can also make it really difficult for you to move properly and to swim properly and propel yourself in the direction that you want to go. However, once you get out of the river and you're standing on dry land, let's say we're taking a break for lunch or something, and you're a little cold, a nice trick is go ahead and let some of that air back into the dry suit. It will create some extra volume within your system, and that extra volume will allow you to hold a little bit more heat in there. So you may find that that's a good way to warm yourself up real quick if you're taking a little break on the side of the river during a paddling trip. And then finally, I like to recommend to everybody, and this is something that I will do when I'm on the river as well, there's one piece of clothing that can go a long way towards warming you up when you're done paddling, or if you're hopping off the river for just a moment, that takes up almost no space in your dry bag, and that's going to be a nice warm hat. So have a nice warm beanie or something else that you can throw on when you hop off the river. That'll really go a long way towards warming you back up. All right, y'all, that's pretty much everything that I've got on layering and layering systems. Hope y'all have a great day. Have a wonderful time out there on the river, and we hope to see y'all out there. From everybody over here at Endless River Adventures, thank you.